Okay, you can join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and liberty and justice for all. So we have an agenda for tonight, and if anybody had a chance or to look at it or add any additions or deletions, anything anybody wants to bring up, add to the agenda? No? Okay, great. Next subject, Jackie sent out the meeting minutes from last month. And people have gotten them in advance. Hopefully you had a chance to look at them. Do I have any motions to approve the minutes as written?
I make a motion.
I will approve it. I looked at it. It looked good.
Okay.
I will second
Second,
Wes's
Matthew
motion.
second. Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Okay, minutes have been approved. Public comment next. I see we have a guest tonight. I don't know if you want to speak about any particular subjects or.
I just had a question about the Lonely Park.
Sure. Come on up and so people can. We're on YouTube so that other people can hear you.
I just had a question about the Lone Lane Park plan. I noticed that in the latest publication, it had mentioned that they were going to redesign the park. And I was just wondering where those plans are, how you might access them.
Okay, great. The master plan, yes. One of the capital improvement projects that we're looking to do this year is a master plan for Lone Lane.
Real quick, if you could just state your first and last name and a street you live
Sure.
on.
I'm Kelly Manor, and I live on Windermere Court.
Hello, Kelly.
So nothing has been decided yet. It's in the starting of this. We're looking to hire somebody to go ahead and do the master plan. There'll be public input provided into the master plan. I think Ryan can talk a little bit more about the details about how we're going to go about the master plan for Lone Lane.
Yep. So, because I actually answered 2 phone calls today about this as well. So, from other residents of Windermere Court, it's in there because it is on our plan. We recently received or were awarded a 2025 DCNR grant funding in the amount of $50,000 with the focus to do a master plan of that property. Like Mike said, no shovels in the ground, no bulldozers coming in anytime soon. It's what we're going to do is take the exact same process we did for the comprehensive park rec open space plan and mirror that to one facility. In the process of the comprehensive park rec open space plan, Lone Lane Park was identified as the second most used park in the township. We heard a lot of comments and a lot of heavier usage of the park. Our own events have moved out of the park due to their size, comments about the traffic flow and the way the park has been set up. So we realize that's a priority and we want to move towards that. So there will be a robust public input process, just like there was for the comprehensive park open space plan. Our stakeholder groups, our focus groups will center around users of the park, neighbors of the park, and things like that. So it's in there, but no official plan has been made. There's been no final decisions or anything like that at this time.
Okay, so it's just kind of more of a exploratory idea at this point.
Yep.
Yeah, nothing. And so we really would appreciate any public input. So if you have, any of your neighbors or that you talk about, you'll see announcements for when those public meetings are coming up.
Great.
Okay. Certainly come out, help to develop it because we really appreciate the input from the residents.
And how will they let us know when the public meetings are?
It'll be
So-
through our Facebook and through the website, and we have a good communication program for Parks and Rec, so it'll be well communicated.
Great.
And
you.
just to chime in on the process to kind of set the expectations, we have to meet with our grant facilitator. We have to do a request for proposal, bid kind of process to get a consultant on. So We're not talking public meetings in the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're talking a couple of months away. But like Michael said, we'll do Facebook, social media, all avenues of social media, website, e-newsletters to the township, and our hard copies and newsletters as well. So we'll make sure the neighbors are well informed.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for your interest. Okay. Any other public comment from anyone? Deb or no? Nope. Okay. Great. Then let's move on to staff reports. Ryan?
So you have a copy of our staff report from last month, and things are going pretty well. Just a quick snapshot. Little Athletics started right after our meeting last month. We had another Wildlands program, snowshoeing and hot chocolate. Self-defense classes with Lehigh Valley Martial Arts. Our spring session of Zumba is kicking off. And then yesterday, our Mighty Kick spring session just started. This section of the report gets bigger as the weather turns nicer, but this Saturday, we have our next Wildlands program at Lone Lane, fossil exploration and modern day dinosaurs. Following Saturday, we have Bunny Hop Trunk or Treat Trail at Grange Park. That is an event from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We expect a large attendance. We will be, any members of the board who are available to volunteer, we highly encourage you coming out and being a part of it, because announced today on social media, this is an event that we are going to partner with Parkland Cares Food Pantry. And at our tent and area, we'll be collecting items that they need. We'll chime in a little bit that we've had further conversations with them with our Community Lifestyle Center, since we are live on YouTube, finding a way that we can be a static drop-off location for the Parkland Cares Food Pantry as that building comes online. I think they are a great partner of ours, and there is a need here in the area, and we want to make sure we can help fulfill that.
Sure.
Little Athletics, the next session starts in early April. Healthy Kids Running Series starts in April. Leading Edge Martial Arts has a anti-bullying kids workshop with us. Time is still be determined. Yoga Flow spring session starts this month at Jandal Elementary. And then also on the 11th of April over at Grange Park from 9 to 11, we have a resident-only event. It's our paper shredding event. So with our finance department and outside group coming in, it's a resident-only paper shredding event. You do have to show ID. Spring summer newsletter, you each have a copy. Probably all got one at your address as well. And now we're starting to distribute it to social media, our website page, the various kiosks in the parks, and then we will also be hand delivering a bunch to our local legislators as well for their offices. Splash pad access cards are available for purchase. So on our Dash recreation management software, Jim is probably working feverishly to get the splash pad ready for May, and we encourage everyone to come get a membership access card to that. Our summer camp registration started back on March 2nd for residents and March 9th for non-residents. A couple of highlights about summer camp. This year, we actually have available 555 spots over the 3 sites. Last year, we were at 400, so we increased significantly. Mm-hmm. We also pivoted on our teen program rather than the counselor in training. We've got some feedback from the participants, and we are doing a traditional camp with them, but geared towards topics and visitors and field trips and things that the teen 13 to 15-year-olds would like. I can say to date, the number of 13 to 15-year-olds in our camp exceeded last year's total already. We had some discussions about expanding to 4 sites, talked internally, pivoted a little bit, kept it to the 3, but increased the number of available slots in each of the age groups. So I think 2 are full right now, and we have about 111 spots left to fill. We are doing field trips again this year, just like we started last year, and those have filled as well. We actually switched a couple of them up based on the feedback we received from those field trips last year. So things like an Iron Pigs game or Da Vinci Science Center and Crayola are still on there, but a couple others that weren't as well attended, we switched out with newer ones. That's all I got.
I have a question. Sure. Have we ever increased the cost of the splash pad cards?
We are still covering the cost of those cards to facilitate, so we have not done it yet. But if costs continue to rise, we will evaluate that to make sure we are covering the staff time and the cost of the actual card to produce. I will say, just keep in mind that is also a piece of our collaborative relationship with Lower Macungie. Lower Macungie residents can get a splash pad access card at our resident rates, just like Upper Macungie residents get a discounted rate to have a season pass at Lower Macungie's pool. So we always make sure we're checking with them and seeing what they're doing with their pricing structure as well. And speaking of pools and swimming, we have been starting to share on Facebook the gym and swim opportunities at Parkland High School on various Sundays. It's a cooperative effort with South Whitehall Township to facilitate lifeguards and gym attendants, and we help facilitate and get it out to our residents. Part of our portion of the partnership is we cover the cost of lifeguard costs to be able to have that available for our residents.
Is that all the time, or is it just certain times?
It's as available at the school, mostly on Sundays. And as soon as I get the information from South Whitehall's Park and Rec team, we look to share it out to our residents.
Very good. Anything from the maintenance side, facilities to report?
Well, I have a report for you.
All right, yay.
We had a snow removal problem, which we're hoping is the final snow of the season. But we also repaired a water hose reel at Station 56 that was up on the ceiling. We have our ongoing project is construction at a garage at the recreation house, which is going to be a maintenance shop. It's the only original building that's there that's going to stay. The rest of it will be knocked down. So we're going to kind of use that as a maintenance shop.
Which area is this?
At where the rec building is
Oh,
now,
okay,
where
yeah.
it's going to be
Where the police station
police
is
station
going.
is, yes.
Okay.
It's kind of ongoing when there's bad weather or something. We go in and work on that. We removed damaged old curbing at Lone Lane, especially around the pavilion stuff. When the park was built, it was just curbing that was set in place, and then it had rods in the ground, so it wasn't poured.
Yeah.
They're just getting deteriorating, people banging into them, and over the years they've been there for them. So we got rid of them, some of them that were getting really bad. So
Right.
we're probably gonna, when the plan comes, we'll figure out something else, maybe put regular curbing in there.
Mhm.
Also, there's a sewer cap at Lone Lane that was damaged. We replaced that. At our shop, we had a floor drain that actually broke, and we replaced that, fixed that. We have some pesticide training. We prepped equipment for the mowing, the mowers, the trailers, and small equipment. Probably next 2 or 3 weeks we might start that. There was a dugout at Brynsville where some of the wood had rotten out, so we replaced that, fixed the roof. The light fixture at Grange bathroom pavilion number 4 had gone out. It's an LED, so the whole fixture needed to be replaced. We're going to just replace the light bulb. We're going to start prepping up. We're going to probably the next week we're going to start prepping to get the bathrooms open by the beginning of April. We do have pavilions booked already on the holiday weekend,
Wow.
so we got to be ready for them. Office door here was repaired. I'm not sure what was wrong with it, but my guy told me repaired the door. Ongoing project was remove the trash from the park. We have some light towers that we serviced, got them ready, and we use them for Winterfest too. Actually installed some cameras over at a sewer pumping station. They're having some problems with people dumping trash and stuff there.
Oh, okay.
So we tried to help them out a little bit. And I
Wait, where?
wanted a sewer pumping stations.
Oh, over on
I'm not telling you.
on Sean?
I'm not telling you which one.
No.
It might have been you.
Were you dumping stuff, Wes?
And I added one to my list. We just got done today, which was a problem. We wood chipped the entrances to the dog parks. They were getting kind of muddy, and we had some complaints about them into the dog park as well. But we normally do the entrances for the dogs and use wood chips because
Yeah.
we don't like to use mulch. They chew the mulch, but the wood chips seem to be better. So that's what we kind of accomplished this last month.
Good. Hey, thanks for the update, Jim.
No problem.
Okay, on to old business. So the park rules ordinance update. I know we worked hard on the mobile food vendor And so maybe you can give us an update on where we stand, how we're doing that. Are we bundling? What's going on there?
So as we talked about these rule updates and again about an understanding of how often the ordinances change and the process to go through it, and some internal conversations with staff, it's of our opinion it needs to be bundled, but we know a definitive timeline to make sure we're ahead of the busy summer season. And the reason I say for the bundling is as we prepare to open a new facility, we realize that those facility rules need to be a part of this ordinance. So it kind of expands and evolves a little bit. And Emily and I have been doing a lot of research with the other municipal run community centers to make sure we're there. Where I'm confident we'll be in and what I'm going to talk a little bit about tonight to spend about almost a whole month to review with the board and provide feedback is that if we can prepare to be at our April board meeting with any final comments, the following Monday, we can work with Jasmine to publicly advertise ordinance updates to be in front of the Board of Supervisors at the May 7th meeting. When it is in front of them at the May 7th meeting, they will make their decision, yes or no. And when they do that, ordinances take 7 days of this type, take 7 days to take effect. By May 14th, it would be in effect, and we would be working with any signage company or vendor to get signs up shortly after that.
Mhm.
So we are ahead of the busy Memorial Day holiday season. So we are a little behind where we were before. It's kind of evolved. We want to make sure we do it right. I think the park facilities ordinance or use of park facilities ordinance has only been updated twice that I can find. So rather than go through this a couple times, every few months or few years, let's make it strong now and then not have to update for a while.
Okay. So just for clarification, the community center is going to get rolled into this update?
The rules for the operation. So like, for example, if we say no one under the age of 14 can be in the fitness center, that is going to be built into this because this is a park and recreation chapter ordinance of the township. And that was recommended that we make sure that's included.
Okay. Are there significant amount of updates for the community center?
No.
I'm assuming that, that's kind of like a whole scope growth to what we had before.
It'll be a section that is just completely added and dropped in. We just want to make sure we get it to you as final as possible, so there's not a lot of back and forth.
Right.
We have been working with LVHN, our founding partner, who does this daily basis with their gymnasiums and fitness centers. We also have done research with Bethlehem Township, Hanover Township, Forks Township. So we have a good overview of what will be taking place based on those comparable facilities.
Mhm.
I'll tell you one area we're specifically looking at to make sure we get right from day one is rules and regulations with the turf field. Depending on who you talk to, cleats, no cleats, that kind of stuff. We want to make sure that we have the most accurate information.
Does all of that need to be in an ordinance, or is there kind of a policy that you could set at the community center for people that are at the community center? It's a little different than people going to the park. You
Correct.
can just drive in.
But you still want the weight of an ordinance behind it that if for whatever reason we need to revoke a membership or something, or discontinue a facility rental use, it's the same concept as if it was an outside rental group or a splash pad membership that had to be revoked. We want to have that weight behind it and that enforcement.
Right. But we got to be careful because we don't want to go without the mobile food
Correct.
vendor ordinance that we worked on so hard to, for this particular season. So I think what we got to say is that, if we don't have everything else ready, we need to go ahead at least with that for this coming month.
So, and what I did in this version that you have in front of you, that entire mobile food vending piece is rolled into kind of a more formatted update, basically pulled from the online E-code version and formatted correctly. Anything in green are items I've been working on that I wanted to present to you to kind of review between now and April. I'll touch on a quick couple of bullet points of it, but the entirety of the mobile food vending ordinance is built in here. So just to go through it real quick, look at name updates to just be more general to park and recreation facilities versus just use of facilities. More formalization of the purpose, applicability, and then a section of kind of definitions that are applicable within the ordinance. So you'll see kind of from mobile food vending to designated locations, it's just moved from the mobile food vending ordinance that we've been working on, just the definition section. It's still there. Nothing changed on it. Other things that pop up a lot for us, informal groups, pickup games versus organized groups is increasing more and more. So we want to make sure those are clearly defined. Stopping and standing. As we look at projects like the Grange Park Loop Trail, defining multi-use shared paths, things like electric power-driven mobility devices that could be on those multi-use trails. One that has popped up before that we did not have listed in here was what we're going to categorize as inflatable amusement devices. So when the random pavilion rental wants a bounce house or a moon bounce versus a special event that goes through a different permitting process, or us as ourselves as the township going through that to clarify that. Tobacco product part is listed because that's language from an initiative called Young Lungs at Play throughout the state of Pennsylvania in order to get the free signage and designations to help promote Young Lungs at Play. It has to be built into ordinances, so that's listed there. Under the numbers and things will still update. I got to cross-reference, make sure I didn't get my numbers out of order. But we added in for the application process, we don't necessarily do everything written anymore, including digital, because we have an online software. Reservations, one of the elements we talked about, and I know Jim and JT have seen this past year, was issues with the pavilion being rented, but someone not seeing the renter and kind of squatting and just showing up. This identifies that people can make reservations. If they do, they're the priority, and anyone who were informal groups that occasionally use it cannot interfere with someone who has gone through the rental process. We did not have that language in the past, so it was very hard if township police were called or someone was called out to help disperse them. Under cancellations in that section, just kind of housekeeping items that we do have a refund policy based on different timelines depending on the program, whether it's summer camp versus a pavilion rental or a class. And that just cleans it up to say the refund process is in accordance with the adopted fee schedule that happens every year. Special events is highlighted because I just want to put in our application process that's not here yet. We do have it listed separately. I'd like to have it codified in the ordinance that this is the process you go through for a special event. Approved, unapproved usage. Item D is language from Young Lungs at Play. Couple wordage, park grounds, changing to park and rec facilities as we evolve. Let's see here. Couple key ones.
Hey,
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Under 16-104,
Mhm.
no one is permitted to bring into or have in possession in any park or recreation facility burglar tools.
So I've seen that in other places ordinances. I will tell you that language actually comes from the City of Allentown Park and Rec ordinance. We have heard we've had burglary instances in the parks. Don't know if it's needed. We can say, hey, Ryan, take it out. It's a little excessive, but I just wanted to provide as a talking point.
What is a burglar tool?
I didn't hear you there.
Hammer, wrench,
Wait, what did you say?
lockpick, lock cutters, bolt cutters.
Which number is this?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically 6-page, about 2/3 of the way down.
So no hammers, no hammer time.
For the purpose of
Sure.
smashing my window and taking my wallet.
But if I come in with Hammer Pants with a boombox playing MC Hammer, holding a hammer, that
Well,
is okay.
we will check the noise ordinance
I
for
don't
you on that
know.
one.
I don't
As
know.
long as it's foam.
Only for trunk or treat.
Ah.
Only if it's foam.
Added some language in there. We have a lot of bicycle riders. It's a provision about with regards to the safety of others. Item DD is language to the inflatable amusement devices. So going on there under park hours authority to close the athletic fields and courts. We do have obviously a lot of courts in addition to athletic fields, and switching November 1st through October 31st to be consistent within everything else we've done. Also with that April 1st to October 31st, that is in line with some of our fee schedule pieces. So for example, for the community center, there's peak season rates and off-season rates, and we went off that April to October. So we're mirroring inside and outside language. We had a lot of comments about parking and vehicles in parks. So looking at language from other places, adding a little bit to the speed limit to more careful and prudent manner, making sure keeping eyes out for property and persons. Standing and stopping and parked in established areas when parks are closed was not listed anywhere else before. So I know that has been a concern when we see, overnight parking elsewhere. Also, stopping and standing in the middle of the roadway in the middle of a park. Probably we don't want that going on. Buses and things increasing unless approved areas and approval, we know they're coming. The commercial vehicles, the one except for permit that I could see coming in the future, deals with things like car shows. Other places have listed, don't teach people how to drive in a public park or parking lot. That's up for debate, but just showing language to reflect that and garner some thought. J is language looking towards those electric power driven mobility devices as we think ahead to multi-use trails and what can and cannot be on them and their limitations. So that's why that is listed. I will tell you that's a policy when I worked for the city that came up and used specific to Lehigh Parkway. There were some questions and concerns about power driven mobility devices, and we actually worked with organization, the Lehigh Valley Center for Independent Living, on some of that language. So that's just a copy and paste for thought and your consideration. Getting back to the splash pad rules, there are a couple of updates that I need to finish based upon what we have listed as a rule sheet versus an ordinance. But the one to highlight that came up last year for us a couple of times is pavilion renters who rent a pavilion and buy a splash pad access card and hang the card on the edge of the gate and let the entire pavilion into the splash pad. So very easily after the fact, we can shut those off remotely and take care of it. But wanted to clarify in the ordinance that those access cards are per household up to 10 individuals, off the word the individuals, and then they must share the same permanent address. I have the placeholder for the community center rules that we will drop in there for you. The dog park came up last time. We were talking about additional updates, and I'm looking between various dog park rules, but the one worth mentioning is in another location in the overall ordinance, we say about individuals under the age of 14 should be accompanied by an adult in the parks. The dog park ordinance that was added back in 2023 actually says the dog handler must be a responsible adult. I just added the at least 18 years of age. So there should not be children in there with dogs by themselves.
Good.
I know other places say, we have the no more than 2 dogs per handler. Some dog parks say 1 handler per animal. We do later go on to say that attending adults must closely supervise children while in off-leash dog area. The red line in the mobile food vending is just moving the definitions to the front of the overall ordinance package.
Rhyme.
Yep.
Never mind. I found it.
Good.
I wasn't being patient again.
Yep, you're all good. And then lastly, getting towards the end, again, we want to make sure it's something that can be enforceable. So added language about the enforceability at 16-109. And then 16-110, just more of a standard. And then just the sentence at the end says it takes 7 days after enactment. So it's kind of evolved as a project. But like I said, we want to have a strong one. We want to make sure it's correct. And we want to make sure we're ahead of some of the things and trends we see happening.
So recapping, we're supposed to read through it, and
Yep.
then
What I would like,
by next meeting,
we have a final version to have the Park and Rec Board say, present at the May Board of Supervisors meeting, and then ready to go.
You want comments by the next meeting?
Yes. Email, text, phone call,
So, yeah,
whatever you like.
let me chime in on that. A lot of this will be collaborative process, and if we really want to have this all sorted by next meeting, it might be good to put your comments in a document
Yep.
right on Google
I can send a
Drive,
version out.
okay,
Sure.
and then everybody can see each other's comments, and we can look through that. We do have access to. I don't know, Wes, if you're familiar with that, but we can help you through it too.
Oh yeah, no, I know it.
You know it? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Good. Okay,
Nope.
so.
I can get a version up on the Google
Yeah,
Doc before you can get it
We'll
out.
put it up on the Google Drive, then we can all collaborate on that as we go through it. Specifically, it'll be the most efficient way of doing it.
You got it.
On the issue of the fines as a result of these particular things, right? It's a standard $100 fine. Is that what I saw?
I only had the mobile food vending at this point. That is one thing I will have to add for you. I did a little bit of research, and it's more just a question where we want to go with it.
Yeah, it says immediate suspension of vending privileges. Oh, okay,
That's just the specific piece of the mobile food vending. So as it's evolved,
got it.
like the definitions, pulling them out to a standalone location, I can pull that out and I'll leave a comment on what I've seen for other, if it's someone parking when they're not supposed to, if that violation is the same as mobile
Mhm.
food vending or not.
Mhm.
So I can do that.
Okay. Wow. There's a lot here, Ryan. I think it'll really give ourselves a lot to work on this coming month to go through and make sure that we can get this, meet the deadline. Okay, very good. Big step forward.
Fine.
Any other questions, comments on the ordinance updates? No? Okay, great. Let's move on to the Parks Recs open space prioritization discussion we had. This afternoon, I saw you sent out to myself and Jackie the list of what we concluded over the last, in November and January, I think it was it? Or February?
We got to move. Yeah.
February. So we'll attach that to the minutes that we publish. That was our plan going forward. Any objections to that at all? That way it'll be on, anyone in the public can see that through the website on the prioritization. Okay. Any other comments on comp plan?
Nope. I was just going to keep it there as updates we can highlight in some of our facility improvement plans that, we given us the direction and what we're following through on.
Okay, good. I know that, there, again, there's a lot of things that were discussed there, an awful lot. And one of the topics that I'd like to talk a little bit about is the trail improvements. Okay, this was the Vision Zero, and also some of the trails that were number 1 and number 2 priority in the first category. And I know we can do different things, but the Hassan Creek Trail that we have right now is something that is a gem for the township. And if we could somehow improve and build upon that, I would be encouraged to see that. I know that there's a couple of thoughts. One is a large scale investment into the facility, okay, and then we would apply for grants and whatnot to get that. Or we can do something within the public works activities to go ahead and maybe mark out trails a little bit better and provide a up and back type of approach. I think there's a, you can walk out to the dam and then you kind of, there's like, how would I call it? Other trails that are there, but they're not marked. And I don't know what people's thoughts are. And has anybody visited that area at all or have any comments?
Sure. Yeah. It's a good hiking area that's inside of our township. There are other trails in there, but they're not marked. And if you follow the wrong trail, you can end up in someone's backyard.
I did that, yes.
Did you? But it's an easy, low-cost way to just add more outdoor activity to our area.
I would be interested in actually going and hiking that if somebody else wanted to do it with me. I don't want to go by myself.
I bring the dogs out.
Yeah,
It's a great place to walk the
I love
dogs.
dogs.
Yeah. So, yeah, there's a sign there for the trailhead, and there's some parking spots available there.
But maybe going as a group, and going for, walking it, then we can come up with some better ideas.
Okay.
You know?
What do you think, Jim? You're going to have to do a lot of the work. So, what do you?
Trails are number one. Everybody likes the trails. I wouldn't. I mean, we'd have to have some kind of map. About what we want to do if we want to actually put something in there. I think there was one main trail there, so I think people are now taking side trails, which they're exploring, which is fine.
Right.
I don't know how the border somebody's yard up to the park there. How if we can do that whole bordering or something like that.
So even some of the neighbors in that area have developed their own trails behind
I don't think
that.
it's just the neighbors. I think people are walking.
Yeah.
walking to them. I'm not-
Yeah, but it's a little confusing.
It could be animals too. It could
We
be
would
a
have
deer
to-
trail.
Yeah, we would have to mark the borders before we did that.
Yeah.
That would be the thing to perhaps do up front, is get a survey so that we mark the border of the park, so we know what's
Yeah,
private
you want
land and
to
what's
make
public
something,
land.
some
Yeah, we
trails
have
in
to
there.
understand what's the township land and what's the
Right,
private
correct.
land.
If you do that first, then you might want to talk to someone like the Allentown Hiking Club. They do trailblazing up on the DNL Trail and on the Appalachian Trail already. They
Mhm.
have a team of volunteers who does that. They may be interested in participating to help create a new trail. I mean, it's a possibility,
Right.
but the important thing is to mark the boundary first.
Yeah, right.
Do we not have that done already if it's township property?
I have not noticed where the boundary is when I have walked it.
Yeah, I think we all found the same problem. We end up in someone's backyard, like, okay, now we got to turn around.
But marking the boundary would be a first step. Then
Right.
you can start to blaze a trail.
Right. And I think it also might be good to talk to some of the neighbors in that area too. I think they ought to, I know there looks like there's a trail right from that cul-de-sac or the road down there to get into that area. So that's the way I found. So it is, but it is confusing. Okay, April, I think you got a great idea. It'd be good. Maybe we could do it as a team to walk that. I think we need to do a little bit of prep work beforehand. We need to understand what the township land is. I don't think we have to be accurate enough to do a survey, okay, down to,
That was just
But-
a way to do it.
yeah,
Because
but
otherwise, there's no way to tell where somebody's back.
but at least we have a general idea, on where we are. You
Right.
think a survey is warranted, Jim?
I don't know if we could work off the plans or not. Maybe we should start with that. and,
Yeah.
See if we got kind of sidetracked, but we might be able to figure it out that way.
Okay.
Should provide your answer just a little bit more Do you believe a survey is warranted?
Yes, unless you have boundary markers that you know where they are, you need to survey that.
Have you been there
End
before?
up in somebody's yard or too close to the boundary if your ordinance is about that.
Right, right. Yeah, I don't think we're going to be plus or minus 10 feet. We're going to be plus or minus probably 50 feet, okay, as far as concerned. So let's start with a plan of what we have. It'll look different on a plan because the plan looks flat. There's certainly a lot of ups and downs in that particular area, okay? And then we'll see where we're looking to do this, okay? Walk through, do a walkthrough as the group, and then after that, we'll make a plan, survey, neighbors, whatever we need to do afterwards. How's that sound?
Great.
Okay. You want to do that on a particular day of the week, Sunday afternoon or Saturday morning, or let's.
I'll send out I'll send out an email to everybody and get some dates.
Oh.
A nice day.
What?
A nice day.
Yes, a nice
I was
day.
gonna say that. Not when it's 4 degrees outside.
Well, it's Pennsylvania, so it's either going to be snowing 80 degrees or raining.
Okay, good. Good. That's a step in following through on some of the recommendations from the comp and open space plan. So great. Okay, any other subjects on that discussion? Naming and signs. What's your thoughts, Ryan?
So we started last month just making sure, for example, when we did our improvements up at K-Brook Park, we went through the process to officially name the park. And we did an entryway sign based on our design standards that we had formatted. And we are ready to do that in 2026 for other facilities. But we need to make sure we officially name the parks and what we're going to put on those signs. So we kind of introduced it last month. If just writing down the names and just throwing it out here right now. Apple Park, we have the ponds at Apple Park. There's two different sections that would require signage. I will note one of the signs does need to be replaced currently that Jim and I spoke about today. Ricky Park, I will state Ricky has some history behind it for that name, so there's not much room to make changes. Ryansville Park, Blue Barn Park, Grange Park, Lone Lane Park, and then Route 100 or Upper Macungie Park.
I think we were leaning towards Route 100 Park because Upper Macungie is too vague for this particular area.
So as long as you'd like me to move it forward, I can, if you
Do we?
tell me to move it forward, I can get it on the April Board of Supervisor meeting. Once if and when I have their sign off, we begin sign production. I will say we have the template, we have the standards. The size may change on a K-Brook or Ponds and Apple is a little different than an entryway sign at Lone Lane, but the colorization, the stonework, all of that remains the same to be an identifier and design standard for our signage.
How about that one sign at Bryanville Park? It's like on the back
Yep.
end to
Neat.
hometown.
Needs a little care.
It's like
Yep.
It's like that. It's like super messed up.
So once I have the go ahead on official names and I know what I'm putting on signs, we're going to move forward.
Okay, so I think there was some discussion last month about Briningsville, whether we continue to keep Earl Adams Memorial Park along with Briningsville Park. And I don't think we're firm on that one for sure. Okay, the rest of them I thought we were pretty firm on and had agreed upon. Do you need to have?
Nope. It was just more kind of convenience to do it in one shot. But if we want to say, hey, we're going to allow Ryan to go forward with asking for the other ones and we come back to that one in particular, we can do that.
That would be my recommendation. Any other comments?
What if we called it the Earl Adams Park at Briningsville?
Something,
Or on
you
Briningsville?
somehow using both names in the park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do the same thing with Route 100. You could call it the Route 100 Park of Upper McCountry Township.
That'd be a very big
every
sign.
sign, every
Yes,
sign that you
exactly.
see over there will have Upper
Traces
McCountry
Upper
on it. So
Yep.
even if you go to the K Brooks sign
It's
right
got-
now, you'll see it's Upper McCountry. So I think
That's redundant. Okay.
it is
Okay.
redundant. yes.
Okay. No worries.
So make a motion for me to,
Yeah, okay. So I'll make a motion to go ahead with the naming as Ryan listed.
Right.
Holding
To-
on Briningsville Earl Adams, okay, for developing signage and bringing it up to the township supervisors for final blessing.
I second.
I'll get that
Why-
moving.
Why are we waiting on Briningsville?
To do a little, I think to do a little more research since it has two names and out of respect, just to make sure we cross T's and dot I's. And
I would be happy if we had it Briningsville Earl Adams or somehow having both names in that particular.
Well, you can't get rid of it because he's the one that donated the land at
Right.
first.
Right, right.
So-
That's my thought. We have to have,
that works.
unless the family or whatever else, we still are paying $1 a year or something lease towards it. So,
I will do a little more research and
yeah,
we'll look at that one in April.
okay.
The motion was seconded.
Oh, yeah. Did anybody second my,
I did.
Matthew? Okay. So, let's vote on the motion. Anybody in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, passes. You got that?
Got it? And get it moving.
The other one that you didn't mention was Church Lane. Okay. I think we're holding on Church Lane until we know what
Yep.
is going to be the final resolution. Plus, that area is up for a lot of development in the upcoming years with
The one
Eli
in
Lilly.
Fogelsville,
yeah, that's the one in Fogelsville. That's
they're right into the post office.
yeah, behind the post office, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna hold on that one until we know where that's going in the future.
Sure.
Okay, good. Okay, facility improvement plans. I noticed in the monthly the spring newsletter, you have a capital improvement section on there. That was nice, right?
Yep. As we are going to be in the final stages of the Community Lifestyle Center, we have other projects that we need to highlight. They're in there. They're listed. It's a lot of the grant funded projects that we highlighted before that we were very successful this past winter. Couple of follow-up items as far as facility improvements, just to report back that are not on the capital page. One side of the capital page, the Grange Park basketball courts, as an example. A company reached out to me who does everything from sport court resurfacing, fencing, athletic amenities, that kind of realm. I asked for them to evaluate not only Grange, but I asked them to evaluate all the hard court surfaces in the township. So Grange basketball, Grange pickleball, Lone Lane basketball, Lone Lane volleyball and half basketball, Blue Barn tennis courts, Apple tennis courts, Ricky tennis courts, Bryansville basketball court, K-Brook basketball court. I think I got them all off the top of my head without looking at my cheat sheet. And they are in the process of providing an assessment report back to me, kind of with what they would do as their recommendations, which includes dollar amounts, so we can plan accordingly in looking at those spaces. Not just, again, not promising every single court is going to get resurfaced in 2026, but gives us a guideline based on conditions about where we should focus our effort. What it also allows us to do is specific to Apple and Blue Barn. I will say Apple and Blue Barn at this point. It gives us a rough estimate to maybe go back to a place like USA Tennis Middle States and apply for their grant programs to help with projects like this. So this way, we're not just throwing it against the wall and saying it's going to cost X. We truly know, and we know what we're doing for that. So I should have that before April, and I'll gladly share it with everyone. but they were going out once the snow cleared off to take a look at all the hard surfaces. The other piece, in addition to that, was another company to look at Grange in particular, but it may grow once they come back to me, for updates in lighting, for the number one for the basketball courts, because we do know that gives us the opportunity to permit it out, rent it out, things like basketball leagues that can bring in revenue could be done at that location, or it also extends the ability, lights on timers, just like the pickleball courts, that it's opportunity for our residents to be out and active. Also looked at the area 2, which is the original lit fields with larger, not as efficient ballast up on the lights, to see what we can do more efficiently there as well. So those are 2 areas they're looking at. And as we evolve in the other parks, lighting for increased usage of amenities was part of those comprehensive park rec open space recommendations. So we'll see where we get back with those items.
Okay, great. Okay, any other comments on improvements for facilities? Nope. Okay, on to some new business. Community Lifestyle Center employment opportunities. I saw something on Facebook and comments on Facebook, and they're gone now, but I see we're advertising.
Yep, we are advertising. We have been getting a lot of response. We are hiring in the Community Lifestyle Center with the 2026 budget, a full-time facilities coordinator, someone who is kind of the behind the walls kind of person, the systems, the units, the amenities, making sure we're a well-oiled machine as an overview. Then we are looking at site lead positions who, as much as I would love to be there 24/7, they will take our place and help at times that we're not there. So overseeing the rentals, room setups, coordination with various renters, birthday parties, memberships, things like that. And then a front desk attendant staff. So the first face you're going to see when you come in, scan your membership, sell you a membership, tell you all about our programs, help guide you through the facility and get you set up, just to be a welcoming face that engages with our community and our visitors to the facility. I will say anyone who's interested in applying, go on the website, check out the application with the job descriptions, email them back to recreation@uppermac.org. And that folder I have sitting on my desk is growing by the day, and we'll be looking to conduct interviews soon.
Excellent. And these positions are already budgeted for this year?
Yep, they were part of our budget that we put
Okay,
forward for the
and-
Community Lifestyle
And
Center.
just to say, there were no tax increases as a result of the
Nope.
budget as proposed. So, some of the comments that were on Facebook were inappropriate.
What was that what it was about? Taxes?
Yeah. I think there's an overall question within the community about the lifestyle center. It's big.
Yep.
Okay. And there's going to be operating costs and there's going to be revenue, and how that all balances out at the end is still something that we're going to learn about. Okay. We've set up some budgets and whatnot to be, projected where we are, but I think there's still questions in the community about, how that all works out in the end.
I will tell you, every day we are still getting phone calls and doing tours and communicating with various partners to bring programming and event elements to this facility. So it is a space for any and everyone. And again, that is the goal. We are to be as operationally neutral as possible.
And I know Ryan gave me a tour and Jackie was there and you were there, I guess, Carol. I think Wes, you weren't there, but it's a very impressive place. Very impressive place.
The heat is now on, so if you would like to do another tour of the Park and Rec Department, Rec Board, please let me know. We'll get you.
The day we went, it was
7 degrees is a little different.
I think there's a lot more positive comments than you're hearing. We got people speaking up, but there's a lot more positive out there. I think more positive than negative.
I've had a lot of people asking, they're very anxious to get into the membership and, use the facilities. And so we'll see. We'll see. I think it's a gem for the Lehigh Valley.
I think Ryan's going the right track with it too.
We're trying. Trying.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's see. The last item on the agenda, new business, is the DCNR and DCED grant application. What does DCED stand for?
Department of Community Economic Development has a Greenway Recreation Trails Program grant program. So just to inform the board, we did this last year with grants for these various pots, and we were very successful. And we were working between myself and our team with HRG, our township engineers, to put grant applications in that are just as successful as they were last year. To give you kind of an overview of where we're looking at, and these DCNR ones are based off of our in-person conversations with our local advisor for DCNR. We had him on site and we talked about VZAP, comp plan, community lifestyle center, and he really knows the township very well and where we're going towards to give us guidance. The two we are looking to do, because this is, and obviously as long as the board allows us to apply, we're looking at filling the gap for the Bryansville Earl Adams playground equipment that we got a partial towards our total. So in 2025, we received a DCD LSA, which is local share account. Easiest way to describe it, it's money from gambling revenue that goes back towards community projects. We put in for approximately about $400,000 to do a full replacement of the Bryansville Earl Adams playground equipment. We received or were awarded approximately $78,000, which leaves us with a gap. In talking with our DCNR advisor, explain how old the playground is, how heavily used the park is, how it's a destination based on the size of the playground, and where the gap total between, and that approximate 400 includes replacement of all the equipment, installation of all the equipment, and all the mulch that would go down with it. So it's not order a bunch of parts and then Jim puts it together. So this is all with an outside company. He recommended we apply through the DCNR C2P2 program towards that goal. So we will be putting an application in for that. The other one he mentioned to us is with the connectivity goals of the township, a section of trail feasibility study somewhere in the range in the Bryansville area. I don't have the specific start end point kind of things off the top of my head, but a feasibility to be able to design and get towards that goal were his two recommendations. So between myself and HRG, we're working to put the grant applications together to hopefully be awarded grant money to get those projects done. Keeping in mind, when I say it's 2026 window, that window's for DCNR is open until the end of April. We probably won't hear an announcement as long as governments are fully operational and budgets are passed on time. We probably won't hear until late December, early January 2027 on this round that we're applying for now. So again, trying to set that expectation window that we don't put an application in and a week later know what we're getting.
So it's a 9-month type of
Yep. Takes a little
notice
while.
period.
Yep. And then as far as the DCD Greenways Trails Recreation Program, that window is open until the end of May. And the two, hearing from the board and also knowing our connectivity goals, two applications we would be looking to put in. One is for Lone Lane to Grange Park wayfinding signage. Obviously, it's not a direct trail through backyards or anything, but how do you get from Lone Lane to Grange? Maybe it's on-street signage, maybe it's striping, a shared lane along roadways, but really just trying to help with that wayfinding signage, which has been identified as a priority in the Comprehensive Park Rec Open Space Plan and the VZAP plan. And the other one I'm hearing after we have visits and maybe fine-tune next step ideas is how we make an application in this grant program for Hassan Creek trailhead improvements or trail improvements would be the two we would put in for.
Mhm.
Again, keeping in mind, same time frame window of knowing awards. So I get after that, Matthew sends out dates for a site visit. We kind of get our action plan together and see what we can do in house and what we would apply for in a grant.
Great. So had the opportunity to take the grandkids out to Briningsville Park the other day. Massive amount of equipment there. The neighbors that were there, I talked to them, and they love that park too, especially for the shade in that area for the playground. That's one of the things they mentioned, that there's a lot of nice trees in that particular area, and it's good in the summertime. But I was impressed with the amount of equipment, so I can see why it's going to be quite costly to go ahead and replace all of that, or what we replace and what, do we replace everything, or how we come up with that particular plan on how we do that. Because there could be some ways of maintaining the existing park, because some of the structures are still solid, but the handrails need to be painted, and some of the plastic slide tubes are starting to crack and stuff
The
like
one with the pirate ships around there.
that.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. You like the pirate ship, huh?
The only thing, and I'm probably going to speak for Jim a little bit, but just the one thing to keep in mind, to be brief here. For example, I think Jim recently had a slide replacement at Lone Lane, and that entire playground is not as old as Briansville's is. That one slide piece was over $10,000. So playground equipment is not cheap. It's also evolved a lot in its lifespan. My understanding, talking to guys like Jim and Scott, that playground was installed somewhere in the 1999-2000 timeframe. So we're at about 26, 27 years we'll be at for the equipment. Some of it may be in good condition. If we're replacing a slide here or an element there at 10, 15,000, long term, that starts to be a little more costly than trying to do it all as one system. So just to
Well, let's see
The
what we
caution
get in
of
the grants, and let's
Good try.
hopefully we work through that as best we can. Okay, courtesy of the floor, any other open issues? Nope. Seeing none, let's vote for adjournment. Anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
She's about to
I think
second.
she
A
said something.
second.
There you
Second.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we're done. Thank you.
Hi, Jam.
Hi, Russ, how you doing?